Hey everyone, it's Jason, and we all want the most enjoyable and comfortable cruise experience possible. And in my opinion, this starts out in your cruise cabin. Well, these are 14 things that you can request from your cruise cabin attendant to make your life a little more enjoyable on your cruise. And a few of these you may want to request right away, as they do have a tendency to run out. So number one, and I have this number one on the list for a reason because I think it's one of the most important ones, is a bed topper. Now, most cruise lines on embarkation day, you are allowed to get to your cabin around 1:30. And I highly recommend you check the bed comfort level right away. If it's not acceptable to you, go find your cabin attendant, introduce yourself, and say, hey, can I get a bed topper? Because my bed's just not comfortable. Everyone else is doing the same thing. They're checking their cabins, checking their beds. You want to make sure you do this right away so you don't miss out. Now, if you want to guarantee that you don't miss out, this is the bed topper we bring. We bring a 2-inch memory foam one. Now, on Royal Caribbean, we bring the king size one, and on Princess, we'll bring the queen size one. That's what fits those beds. Now, I think you can get away with not bringing one on Princess and Celebrity because I do believe their beds are comfortable, but for us, Royal Caribbean beds are terrible. So we were just on the Wonder of the Seas. We brought a king 2-inch memory foam mattress pad, and it was so amazing. Bed was so comfortable. So glad we brought it. Now, here's the one thing. If you're flying in, just note these are about 8.5 pounds. So just put that into consideration. If you're driving in, obviously it's not a big deal. Now you can bring it home. We were shocked. We were able to roll it back up and it did fit in our suitcase. So you don't have to waste it. On our last cruise, we normally leave them and we get a sense that, hey, we want to keep them. They will reuse them after they spray them down, or a lot of the cabin attendants say, hey, we'll take it for ourselves. But this last cruise, we didn't get that sense that they were just going to toss it, didn't want it to go in the landfill, so we wanted to make sure that we took it home with us, and we did. So this is something I would highly suggest, and there's a link to it in my description. Number 2, extra blankets. Now, if you're going to be in a cold climate, such as Alaska, the Norwegian fjords, this is something I'd also recommend that you request right away. Now, obviously, if you're in the Caribbean, you're probably not going to have a run on blankets. Now, one tip here is if they say they're out of blankets, make sure to check underneath your bed, because a lot of times you'll see something in plastic and it's extra blankets for the single beds. So you could use that. That's just a little tip there if you need an extra blanket and they say they've ran out. So number 3, different or additional pillows. No reason to suffer with a terrible pillow. Personally, for me, I don't like down pillows, and I ask usually the cabin attendant to take them away. So what's going to happen is the cabin attendant will come into your cabin, and at that time they'll ask you, hey, do you need anything? And that's when I would request different or additional pillows. So number 4, extra towels. Make sure to just check your towels. Is that enough for you for the day? A lot of times, hey, if you're going to the gym, you're working out, you're walking a lot, you're in the pool, you want to wash that chlorine off, maybe 2 towels isn't enough. Bath towels, we always request 4. So make sure to request that when that cabin attendant comes in. That would be something that you would request also at that time. So number 5, wine glasses and a corkscrew. A lot of people are surprised that you can request a corkscrew from your cabin attendant and they'll bring you one. And what they will also bring you is, many times, is one that you can bring home with you. So that's a nice little keepsake. So number 6, additional hangers. Now this would be something, if you need it, I would request right away. One time we got our luggage late. We didn't realize we needed some additional hangers and we asked for them and they didn't have any, so we had to double up. So make sure if you need additional hangers, request that right away. So number 7, this may already be in your cabin when you get there, is a bathrobe. If you don't see it, make sure to request it. Many times what happens is they're a little behind on their laundry and the cabin attendant will bring your bathrobe on embarkation day in the evening. So number 8, and I've had a lot of people tell me they didn't know you could request this, is an ice bucket filled daily. Now we like to have these for our Yetis. I always like to have cold ice water on hand. And what we found on our last couple of celebrity cruises, they actually filled it in the morning and in the evening, so that was a really nice thing to have. So number 9, and this is something we always request, is to have any minibar items that are currently in our fridge for them just to remove those. Like to have that space for my own waters, my own sodas, and they have no problem doing that for you. So number 10, and you may not know you could request this, but you can request furniture to be added and removed. Now personally, I hate those tables in the middle of cabins. For whatever reason, they seem to find my shins in the middle of the night and they eat me up. So I always request for those tables to be removed, and they'll do it for you. The other thing that they will do, and it's not always, but you can request, if you have an extra large balcony, you can request some kind of a chase lounge chair. And a lot of times they'll bring it for you. I've seen them carrying them down through the hallways. So I know they'll do it for you, but you usually have to have an extra large balcony cabin for them to bring one. So number 11, you can request an extension cord and distilled water for your CPAP machine. Now you're going to have to pay for the distilled water, and this is something that I would really recommend that you request before you get on your cruise. Through your travel agent, through the cruise line, whomever you book through. So number 12, you can request your daily cruise planners. Personally for me, I like having the app and the daily cruise planners. I like to make notes on them so I can do these videos. I know a lot of people like to have them reminisce on their cruise. What do you like to do? Do you like the app? Do you like the daily cruise planner? Or do you like both? Let me know in the comments. So before I get to number 13, I would ask that you like this video as it does help the channel grow. Also, consider subscribing as we're on the path to 100,000 subscribers by the time we go to Alaska in August. If you could do that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. So number 13, and this is something that we really like to request, is a tea kettle in our cabin. Unfortunately, a little bit of forewarning here, it's about 50-50 whether we get it. I think it's based on the itinerary a lot of times or the availability. Now I really like them because you plug it into the European plug, and as soon as it starts boiling, you hear a snap, it totally shuts off, so it is 100% safe. So make sure to request it and you may get it. If you've gotten a tea kettle before, let me know in the comments. And number 14, if you like towel animals, make sure to tell your cabin attendant that. I've done this before, and we've come back in the evening and had 3 or 4 towel animals. And I love it when you leave your hat out or your sunglasses and they dress them up. They're so fun. And I know a lot of parents love it when they do this for their kids. Do you like towel animals? And what is your favorite towel animal? So I appreciate you guys watching. Is there something that I missed on my list? If so, please provide it in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys and the support. And until I talk to you next week, happy cruising.